According to the most trusted name in fake news, we don't like Cuomo now, says every late night host in perfect robotic unison. You know what my problem is with you guys over at the Babylon Bee? You're writing satire, but it's still technically true. You're just mocking what they actually do. Okay, so this is actually a satirical article, and it's true, though. They didn't literally say we don't like Cuomo now, but whenever stuff like this happens, they all basically have the exact same opinion. How boring is this? Turning on the TV and they all say the same exact thing. Jeez. But you know why I say it's the spirit of what the Babylon Bee is saying is true? This is how crazy things are getting. Hillary Clinton backs investigation into Governor Cuomo over harassment allegations and says his accusers and all New Yorkers deserve answers. Whew! When you lose Hillary Clinton, you are out of the club. Happened to Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard came out and endorsed Bernie Sanders. And then all of a sudden, they hated her. She was the golden child of the Democratic Party. They loved her. And then she came out and was like, nah, Bernie. And so then they went out and roasted her. There was even a point where, it's a long, complicated story. Hillary basically said something to the effect that, I'm going to be very careful with my language here. Many people took to mean that she was accusing Tulsi Gabbard of being a Russian. Yeah, a Russian asset or something like that. Not an actual citizen of Russia. And that's what happens. Hillary Clinton had a lot of power in the party. And I think this actually shows the failures and the collapse of the establishment political uniparty. I mean, Democrats and corporate Republicans combined. Hillary Clinton is feckless. She's a terrible leader. And so when they basically didn't have Obama leading the pack, they had this like B-tier Hillary Clinton. Now, don't get me wrong. I know she's like a world leader or considered to be powerful and wealthy, but she's not got anything on Obama. And look, even Bernie Sanders had more charisma than Hillary Clinton. And that's surprising because Bernie is a crazy haired old man. But anyway, I digress. Today's segment is about Cuomo. He's getting Me Too'd. And there's big questions. Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden do they not like Andrew Cuomo? I think it's fairly obvious. For one, Me Too allegations are really easy for the left to digest. More importantly, it is click rage bait. You know, Cuomo actually killed 13,000 people. Maybe that number is a little off, but let me just break it down for those that aren't familiar. He put sick people into nursing homes. I'm sorry, you have to be insane to think that was an accident. Now, we don't know exactly why he did it because I can't read. No, we can't read his mind. But they had the Mercy, that big medical naval vessel. They had the Javits Center, which is this big convention center with all these hospital beds, and neither were anywhere near capacity. I think the Mercy was like empty, had like one person on the whole thing. And then the Javits Center was like 30% capacity. So why did Cuomo say these people who had COVID, put them back in the nursing homes? Why do that? Apparently in Michigan, they put young people in nursing homes too. And then one dude beat up an old guy. Why would they do that? Some speculate it was because they didn't want to give Trump the W. Make Trump look good. He helped set up these emergency field hospitals and in this naval vessel. Can't have that. So they said, just put them in nursing homes. We're not going to give Trump this one. Now, whether or not you want to believe that Cuomo knew it would result in death, that's up to you. But he did cover up the numbers. You probably know the story. And a lot of people probably don't care. And that's the crazy thing about this. I've done many segments on Cuomo deserving prison. And not just him. Let's talk about Whitmer and Newsom and all the rest. And I got that list. We'll bring it up. But this is the funny thing. How convenient is it for Democrats that when this wave is coming and these people should be in prison for what they did, the media latches on to the easy narrative? Let me ask you, if you were responsible for the deaths of 13,000 elderly individuals, which story would you prefer to dominate the airwaves? You murdered 13,000 people, or you were inappropriate with 3 women? Yeah. Cuomo probably is breathing a sigh of relief. I'm sure when the scandal broke out that they covered up these numbers and you know why they covered them up? They were scared Trump would investigate them. I'm sure the dude was wiping away bullets from him. He was sweating bullets, freaking out. Then the story breaks. He goes, oh, I'm getting Me Too'd. Finally, says Cuomo. Finally. He's so excited that it's happening. Here's a story. A third woman CNN anchor. Oh, actually, so we'll start with Chris Cuomo. This is hilarious. Chris Cuomo won't even talk about it. Chris Cuomo, the guy on CNN who did the prop comedy with the giant Q-tips and they laughed together. Hey, Dad, I'm so proud of you, brother, and things like that. Now, all of a sudden, well, I'd like to talk about it, but I can't. CNN anchor Chris Cuomo said on Monday that he was aware of the accusations about his brother. Obviously, I'm aware of what is going on with my brother, and obviously I cannot cover it because he is my brother. Now, of course, CNN has to cover it. They have covered it extensively, and they will continue to do so. These people are so miserable and just the dirtiest, most duplicitous. I'm sorry. At this point, how many times has CNN fooled people? It's like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. CNN's fooled people like 10,000 plus times. I just pick a random number because it's probably approaching infinity or whatever, critical mass. They just keep doing it. Well, I'd like to talk about my brother and the things he's done, but I can't for obvious reasons. Don't remember, though, don't consider that he literally did a back and forth with his brother during the COVID pandemic when his brother was the story. Governor Cuomo was the one who was, overseeing New York's response as the governor. And they had no problem breaching that ethics, that line in ethics for ratings, to have silly back and forth jabs. And all these Democrats are like, oh, Cuomo, we love you so much. He wins an Emmy for his press briefings. He writes a book about dealing with the pandemic, even though we're still in it. All the meanwhile, he was abusing women. Hey, how about that? Chris moved on, having thanked his audience for being straight with me, as I've always been straight with you. I swear, if you still believe this man after he faked being in quarantine, I got a bridge to sell you. The new accusation on Monday night led to a first call from a Democratic member of Congress for Cuomo to resign. Kathleen Rice, who represents Long Island, said it was time for the three-term governor to go. Rice spoke after Anna Rutch, now 33, told the New York Times she met Cuomo at a wedding in September 2019. The governor, now 63, had given a toast to the newlyweds, and Rutch, a former member of the Obama administration and the 2020 Biden campaign, thanked him for his words. She claimed that he then touched her naked back and she removed his hand. So hold on. Like, did he put his hand on your back? Is that really it? Don't make me defend Cuomo. Apparently he kissed the woman. Now that, over the line. Evan Hill tweets, a third woman has accused Governor Cuomo of unwanted touching, saying he placed his hands on her face and asked if he could kiss her at her friend's wedding. A friend took a series of pictures of the incident as it occurred. Okay, now, this photo is going viral because you can see this young woman's got this look on her face like, no, get out, don't do it, Cuomo. I feel bad for her because that's probably nasty. But, I got to be honest. Was Cuomo, when he kissed this woman, serious question. Was it a kiss on the cheek? Was it an unwarranted romantic, kiss on the lips? No, for real, I think it matters because, like, what if he kissed her hand? All right. I'm inclined to assume he was acting inappropriately. I believe these women. You look at this picture and this lady is clearly not happy. But is this proportional? I want to focus on the fact that Cuomo is a scumbag who, killed 13,000 people. At least as the media portrays it, that seems to be the case. Instead, we're talking about this Me Too stuff. It's so easy for the left to digest. It's clickbait. It riles them up. And I wonder if they're also throwing Cuomo under the bus, too, because he gained too much power during the pandemic. He became too prominent. They were actually saying, get rid of Joe Biden, bring on Andrew Cuomo. And I wonder if the establishment was like, no, we don't want Cuomo. We wanted Biden. They wanted Biden in. And Cuomo was more popular. Well, here's one way to take down his popularity. He said she was aggressive, then cupped her face. She said he was aggressive, then cupped her face in his hands and asked, can I kiss you? A photographer captured the moment with Rutch looking distressed and taken aback. That's true. You can see the photo. I was so confused and shocked and embarrassed, said Rutch. I turned my head away and didn't have words in that moment. Daily Mail asked Rutch for a comment. She told the New York Times, it's the act of impunity that strikes me. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I didn't have a choice in his physical dominance over me at the moment. And that's what infuriates me. After the encounter, Rutch said her friend looked at me and said, are you okay? With such genuine concern in her face that I realized how obviously inappropriate it was. Oh, please. Just because someone asks if you're okay, this is what they do. What Cuomo did, yeah, inappropriate. he should be yelled at for this. He grabbed a woman by the face. I don't know if he kissed her or not. If he kissed her, okay, that's over the line. But it seems like he just asked her. Did she say no, or did she allow him to do it? Either way, him asking, unless she explicitly said, yes, you may, then he absolutely assaulted this woman and crossed that line. But what is the lasting damage, okay? We want a proportional response. I think Cuomo should be booted from office, and I'm not willing to I don't believe in the ends justifying the means, right? This idea that we should Me Too Cuomo out of office simply because he's a really bad governor. I don't like how that plays out. I want Cuomo in court. I want him testifying, explaining why he did this, why he covered the numbers up. If he gets forced out of office because of these things, okay, I guess it's a good thing, but we need closure. We need the people of New York State and the American people to see exactly why he's being thrown out. There are other governors who had done this. They're gonna boot him out over this Me Too stuff, which, look, if he did, he deserves to be. But don't sweep the other crisis under the rug. Maybe once he's out of office, someone will follow up. I really doubt it, but I'd like to see it. Later, she tried to find the governor at the reception to give him a piece of her mind, but couldn't track him down. I would have rather just said it that night, Rutch said. I wanted to say that wasn't okay. She added, I felt so uncomfortable and embarrassed when really he is the one who should have been embarrassed. On Monday night, Rutch told the New York Post that the photo of Cuomo clutching her face speaks for itself. The photo pretty much sums it up. Gross. What the F? Every woman has to go through this in the 21st century. Dude, let me just stress. She's right with the WTF. Like, don't take your hands and put it over a woman's face and then say, can I kiss you? There's flirting with women. There's hitting on women. There's picking up women. And then there is being a 61-year-old man walking up to a 30-year-old woman, grabbing her face and saying, can I kiss you? Nah, that's not how you do it. Cuomo might benefit from reading the book The Game or watching some of those pickup artist TV shows, because this ain't it, bro. This is not it. Rutch's accusations follow those made by Lindsay Boylan and Charlotte Bennett, who both alleged harassment. Both Boylan and Bennett tweeted their support for Rutch on Monday night. This doesn't make me feel validated. It makes me sick, said Boylan. I feel nauseous thinking about Anna's experience. I am sending her love and light. Charlotte and I are with you, Anna. Bennett said, I stand with Anna Rutch. Anna, I hear you. I see you. I'm sorry. His inappropriate and aggressive behavior cannot be justified or normalized. I'm glad he's getting called out. Okay. But my fear is that often in the court of public opinion, the response is disproportionate to the crime. Cuomo acted very inappropriately. He should get a stern scolding and talking to. To be fair, we did mention this the other night in the IRL podcast. There's probably things he's done we don't know about. I mean, these women have come forward, but does that really mean that's the only women who have been, inappropriately touched or, harassed, assuming it's harassment? And I'll stress too, harassment is specific. You have to do something more than once for it to be harassment. This is true. When you're in a workplace, you have to be given a warning. So let's be reasonable, right? Let's say you're a dude and there's a woman and you walk up to her and say, you give her a compliment and then you put your hand on her shoulder and say, would you like to go out sometime? That's not harassment. If she says, please don't ever touch me again, it is inappropriate in the workplace and I do not feel comfortable with you asking me these questions, the warning has been set. If the guy does it again, now it's harassment because he's already been warned. Then you got to go. And I'll tell you this, too. If you're in a workplace, I don't care if it's a man or a woman, and they come on to you and you don't like it, then you should just give a passive note to your manager. I know a lot of people might not want to hear this, but no, seriously. And just say, it's to the extent that you feel you were wronged, right? The point is, if it were me and someone asked me out, I'd say, not interested, have a nice day, end of story. If they grabbed my face and squeezed my face and said, can I kiss you? I'd be like, dude, don't ever do that again. Then I would go to management and say, I've given them a warning right now. It's no big deal. We'll carry on with work. No issue. Don't worry about it. I just want to note that it's been said, because then after that, it becomes harassment. So I don't know exactly what was going on with these women, but I want to point that out. Chris Cuomo at the top of Cuomo Primetime tonight. Obviously, I'm aware, blah, blah, blah. Here are the women who are accusing him. Charlotte Bennett's 25. That's crazy. A 62-year-old man making these inappropriate comments to a 25-year-old woman. Get out of here, Grandpa. You trying to robbing the cradle? Jeez. Nah, I'm not okay with that. Boylan, now 36, was working at the New York State Economic Development Agency in 2018 when Cuomo kissed her on the mouth. Okay, see, he has denied the incident ever happened. I got to be honest. I don't believe Cuomo. Look, the difficult thing here is that you need to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. The left likes to say, in the court of public opinion, you don't. If society just deems it to have been wrong and they believe her, so be it. And that's true. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think Cuomo's a sleazebag, and I'm willing to bet he did this. I mean, you got a photo of him grabbing that woman's face. Cuomo, you scumbag, okay? What he did with the nursing homes, more important, way worse. You want to tell me that this guy who was 62 at the time, I'm assuming, kissed a woman on the lips without a permission? I'd be like, hey, man, that's a bold accusation. Do you have any evidence? And then you also come and say, here's evidence that he put sick people into nursing homes, killing 13,000 people. And I'd be like, wow, the kissing thing seems trite, quaint. I believe it. I believe this guy is a really, really bad dude. Again, I don't like that they're using this to try and get him out of office. I want him out of office on the charges, criminal charges, of at the very least negligent homicide. It's his fault. They go on to say that he's apologized. He said he has a tweet. What did he say? Where he was like, I now realize that my, here we go. Jesse McKinley tweets. Cuomo said, I now understand that my interactions may have been insensitive or too personal, and that some of my comments, given my position, made others feel in ways I never intended. Great. Sticks Hexenhammer with the fire says, in the comments, Democrat partisans with severe mental issues defending creepy Cuomo and his grandma killing. Yes, spot on. Sticks. I got this post from Becker News. This is from Kyle Becker. You may see him on Twitter. The coronavirus 5. These model Democratic governors are now facing political disaster. That's right. It wasn't just Cuomo who killed all these people. There were a bunch of other governors that did basically the same thing. In fact, Charlie LaDuff, who is this really, he's this really well-known local reporter in Detroit. You've probably seen his stuff because he had a bunch of big viral hits from his work. He's kind of like an anti-corruption guy. He may be suing Whitmer over this to get the data out. And he's not a strong partisan. He's not a Republican. Check this out. Andrew Cuomo. Becker News says, New York Governor Cuomo once made a remarkable admission that may prove to be his administration's epitaph. Incompetent government kills people. 15,000 deaths are now understood to be directly tied to Cuomo's disastrous executive order in March that mandated that nursing home residents that tested positive for COVID at medical facilities be returned to nursing homes. I mean, dude, it's crazy. In a conference call with those whose contents were leaked to the press, Cuomo referred to President Trump's pressure on the governor, according to Secretary of the Governor Melissa DeRosa. He starts tweeting that we killed everyone in nursing homes. He starts going after New Jersey's Democratic governor, California Democratic Governor Newsom, starts going after Gretchen Whitmer. Cuomo is now under heavy fire from the left, this we know. Governor Cuomo has selected former federal judge Barbara Jones to conduct an independent investigation. All right, yeah, we'll see. He's not the only one. So while we can talk about the Me Too stuff and criticize him for being a sleazebag, don't lose sight of the big picture. Gretchen Whitmer. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been one of the most heavy-handed and arbitrary governors in the U.S. when it comes to handling the pandemic. Now, Republican state legislators in Michigan are calling for an investigation into Whitmer's handling of nursing homes based on a decree similar to Cuomo's. Quote, Governor Whitmer's regional hub policy placed patients with and without COVID-19 in the same facilities and may have exacerbated the death toll in those facilities. Whitmer's policies have been so disastrous for the Wolverine state that bordering Indiana business owners branded her the Indiana Business Person of the Year. Wow. A billboard has gone up just south of Michigan border in Angola, referring to Gretchen Whitmer as Indiana Business Person of the Year for 2020's lockdowns, spotted along Interstate 69. Why? Was it because people in Michigan were fleeing to Indiana for food and stuff like that? Gavin Newsom, check it out. They say Gavin Newsom was another golden boy who lost his shine as the pandemic wore on. One of the earliest states to lock down, the policies proved to be utterly futile, but extremely costly for millions of Californians. In November, he was famously exposed for his hypocrisy at a private dinner. More recently, he is facing a backlash over yet another private event in a state where indoor dining is banned. The narrative is that it's okay because everyone was wearing a mask. Nah, that's not true. Newsom is facing a recall effort that has over 1.5 million signatures, but due to the state of California suddenly kicking into overdrive to remove as many signatures as possible, it will likely take more to put the effort over the top. I love how they're doing signature verification now. Phil Murphy. New Jersey has been the worst managed state in the U.S. when it comes to COVID response, barely edging out Cuomo's New York. One of the reasons is yet another disastrous nursing home order. In August, the Department of Justice had issued a request to 4 states that had issued orders that senior residents be returned to nursing homes. A petition is calling for the New Jersey governor to be investigated. More than 7,300 residents of New Jersey's nursing homes, veterans homes, and long-term care facilities have died from COVID-19. Nearly half of the state's coronavirus deaths have occurred among these vulnerable populations. Whistleblowers have hinted that dangerous policy directives, misrepresented data, and arbitrary decision-making by the Murphy administration contributed to a wildfire of infection and death in these facilities that could have been prevented. Then they mention Tom Wolf, also guilty of the deadly nursing home order. I mean, I can just say that, right? Because you get it. Following New York state legislators' call for an investigation into nursing home deaths, Pennsylvania GOP members are requesting an investigation into Governor Tom Wolf's policies that sent COVID-19 positive residents back into nursing and personal home care facilities. It's what they were doing. How many people lost loved ones? Mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, because of these sociopaths. Why did they do it? Is it because they're inept? Okay, kick them out of office. They should all resign immediately. Is it because it was negligent homicide? Okay, well then charge them criminally, get them out of office immediately. There is no circumstance after this where these people should remain in office. None. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they were trying their hardest, but they made mistakes? Good. Now, after killing these people, get rid of them. What do we get? Well, there have been calls for the resignation of some of these people. Not many Democrats, many are defending them. And now Cuomo is getting Me Too'd. I guess if he's out of office, fine. It's still a good thing. But I want to see these people on a perp walk. You can't do this. I can understand that sometimes being a leader means you make hard decisions and sometimes people lose their lives. But you will never convince me that these people should not be charged. When you have the Javits Center and the Mercy, you better give me a good reason in your trial, because you'll be charged, you'll go to trial, and then we'll hear why you did it. Maybe there's a good reason why they did it. Maybe. Innocent until proven guilty. But we're going to ask you, why didn't you use the Javits Center, Cuomo? And when he's like, I have no answer. Okay, negligent homicide. I'll leave it there. We'll see what happens to this guy. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. It's a different channel from this one, and I will see you all then.